Hello. Welcome back to the PGL. It's a new season. So I know I wasn't able to upload the later half of the last season. A lot of things came up. I got very busy, and unfortunately, I just wasn't able to make regular uploads work. But we're back with the doubles content this time, and we're hopefully going to have some other videos in the works. But anyway, I'm not going to waste a bunch of time. We're just getting straight into this battle. This is a VGC Terra preview draft. My opponent for week one has a terrifying team. I literally drafted Spectrier because I knew I would only have to play Flutter Mane one time max, and of course it's week one. So I'll put the teams up on the screen. I'll put my builds up. I know my first idea is to leave Spectrier and Foongus on the bench. I did not bring Quaquaval this week. I didn't think it looked good, and then I didn't bring any of my lower tier. I see that my opponent did not bring Dragonite, which, in my opinion, was my best or his best Pokemon against a lot of mine, so that's good to see. No Charizard, and then no Squawkabilly and Sawsbuck, so that is nice to see. Because I know a little bit of what Squawkabilly does, but I don't really know that much about it. So as much as I've played singles, I have not played very much doubles at all. So I'm going to make a lot of mistakes, but I will be learning a lot as we go. So I hope it's at least entertaining for the viewers in chat or in the video that are from PGL as well. You can see all the mistakes I'm making, and maybe you can learn from the mess ups I make. So my play is to lead Grimmsnarl and Landorus. My opponent leads Hariyama, Torkoal. Okay. I kind of expected a lead similar to this. I expected Hariyama to be the lead, of course, because Fake Out is just absolutely insane in VGC. I didn't know if they'd want to go Trick Room, if they'd want to set Sun, or even if they want to do Torkoal Lilligant. So, looking at how much damage my Landorus can do to Torkoal, this is a pretty standard Landorus, I would say. It's AV, it's got the coverage. Stomping Tantrum is a two-shot pretty cleanly. So, I think my best play is just to fake out the Hariyama turn one. I do have a little bit of speed, so hopefully he's not going crazy with the speed creep. I could Terra Flying and just get rid of Hariyama turn one, but that would let, anything he has over here that likes the sun come in. Wait, he has the Eelektross. I have absolutely no idea what that wants to do in this. So I could Stomping Tantrum Torkoal, but I could also see it switching into Eelektross. So I think I will just go for a Rock Slide, because that into a Tantrum should KO the Torkoal. I do need to write down his Terra types. Alright, Torkoal does switch out, which is good. Fake out the Hariyama, flinch it, and then we get a Rock Slide, and we chip both of the Pokemon down. So he has Hariyama. He moved before Landorus would've, so we know he does have Fake Out. He is Terra Fighting. He's got Torkoal, Terra Fire. He's got the Slowking, which is Terra Dark. That's a cool Terra. That makes it very... I can't actually taunt it, which I don't have, but if I did, uh, yeah, it wouldn't be an option. He has Lily H, and it is Terra Ghost to dodge fake outs. And then he has the Flutter Mane, of course, with the Terra Fairy, which my team not that good against fairies, so totally makes sense. So I could set a light screen here, but I do expect him to just go for the Trick Room. So I do want to stall that out if possible. So I think I will Parting Shot into the Hariyama. And then I think I will U-turn with Landorus so I can get another Intimidate later in the game. And I will just try to chip this Slowking. So we do Parting Shot, we reduce both its attacks down. It's pretty weak now. And I will bring in Braviary. U-turn into Slowbro, does 20%. And we'll bring back in the Grimmsnarl on the other side, get our Fake Out back. Does knock off Grimmsnarl, I'll lose my Roselli Berry. But with the way his team's set up, he might actually have the Eel as number 4, because it does seem like he really wants to go Trick Room. So with Braviary, I could just Brave Bird the Hariyama to remove it, but it's so weak right now. I don't see that as a big issue. Although I do want to remove it for Goodra if I don't want to force the Terra on Goodra. Although Terra Fairy does look a little worse into this Slowking. I probably called it Slowbro. Apologies. It's very early for me. Me and my opponent had a 15-hour time gap. So I do want to stall Trick Room, but I also don't want to let him get something like Torkoal in for free. So I think I will go for a Rock Slide, seeing if I can catch Torkoal coming in maybe for the Hariyama slot, and I will fake out the Slowking. So Hariyama does switch into Torkoal, nice. Okay, we made one good play this season, and it's not even that good of a play because it's spread damage, so it doesn't do very much. Keep up with the chat. Yeah, so it's good to know. Let me see, if we look at the Torkoal set into my Braviary, that's more than just... No, that's about right. Max HP, probably max special defense. So to help stall Trick Room out, I will protect Braviary this turn, and then I will set up a light screen, because Torkoal's annoying. He is helping hand, which is terrifying. Set up a light screen, Eruption does 51%. That's a lot of damage. But luckily, this turn, I should be able to pivot in my AV Landorus with the light screen up and Parting Shot into the Torkoal. Reduce its damage output some more. He does Helping Hand again. I do Parting Shot. What do I want to come in on this Eruption? I guess Braviary. And then I can threaten the Torkoal next turn. So Eruption, dang, that does so much damage through screens. So is he Specs? Try not to take too much time per turn. But if he's at 76%, and I have a light screen up, and he's at -1, we got a lot of moving parts here. That should do 42 to 47 to Braviary if he's Specs. It only did 36, so he's probably not Specs. So I can't just double into that slot for free. That Eruption did so much. I think I will end up tearing the Landorus this game, but not yet. I will Stomping Tantrum the Torkoal because it does do a lot of damage, and then I will just Rock Slide, trying to get chip on both Pokemon. So Hariyama comes in. Oh, he's Will-O-Wisp. Okay. So I do get a Rock Slide. It does decent damage to Torkoal. It's actually very low now, so Eruption's not doing anything to me anymore. And then Trick Room's gone, which is a plus. That thing I just said about Terraing Landorus is probably a lie, because it's not going to do very much damage at all at this point. And I actually can't cycle in Intimidate as easily right now because Grimm and Landorus are... Landorus is out and Grimm isn't, so I can't cycle it in one turn. So, if we look at the Hariyama... The only Hariyama set in this calc is very offensive, so I don't know if his is going to match that. If I'm burned, the Terra should still KO from where we're at. I will just go for a Rock Slide and a Brave Bird into Hariyama. He can only flinch one, so I should be able to take one of his. Okay, and his last is the Flutter Mane, and he did not go for Trick Room. So we do get the KO on the Hariyama. We did not get completely destroyed. We get our Citrus back. So the Braviary was originally going to be safety goggles for the Lilligant, but then I was thinking about all the relevant turn 1 plays, and I just thought it made more sense to have some burst healing on it. So this is terrifying, because we do know it is Terra, Flutter Mane, Terra Fairy, and we do know that he has not used his Terra yet, so I assume he's saving it for the Flutter Mane. Very supportive Slowking, so we almost certainly do not KO it. I will go for the slow U-turn with Landorus. Let's try to get rid of this Slowking. I will just double into it. Actually, there's no reason for him to want to set up Trick Room, so he probably just goes for Helping Hand here for the double KO. And I will lose my light screen. So I don't really need the Intimidate anymore. Yeah, I don't want to give up Grimmsnarl because I do want to get it in for free again to get one more light screen up. So I guess sacking Landorus is the best play here and going for Protect with Braviary, and then I'll try to get up a Tailwind next turn when I get light screen back up. So we'll just go for the slow U-turn, expecting him to Helping Hand. Okay, he protects. So I'll also protect, U-turn into Slowking, and this is a little awkward. Because if he attacked, we're in a little bit of danger. Okay, he just went for Snarl. Oh, that's risky, because if I had set up Tailwind there, he would have given me a Defiant boost on Braviary. But I guess could have been worse. Yeah, I had no clue it got Snarl. I could Parting Shot the Flutter Mane, but Light Screen is actually just better. And we'll try... Tailwind's so awkward, because it would make Trick Room worse in the endgame, but I guess I'm slower than everything anyway, so trying to get faster is better. Okay, he gives himself the Photosynthesis special attack boost. I do set up a Tailwind. Oh shit. It's Trick Room Flutter Mane. That is not what I expected. I knew it got Trick Room. I didn't expect it to want to set up Trick Room. That's funny. So, what does the Torkoal want to do? If it's Heat Wave, it's not super threatening with Light Screen up. I can Parting Shot into Flutter. I just really screwed up there, huh? So yeah, that's a really strong Flutter that some of my team now outspeeds, which is pretty scary. If in the odd chance Braviary lives, I will go for Rock Slide. So if Slowking comes back in, Torkoal protects, makes sense. Parting Shot, the Slowking getting weakened really does not matter. And then I could start setting up Goodra now, because I really don't expect it to take much damage from Torkoal at all. But I honestly, having no damage on it is more important to me. And as long as he doesn't know that it's my fourth, I think I'm in a good place. So do Rock Slide for a powerful 12%. Landorus should live a Heat Wave. Both Pokemon should live a Heat Wave, even with Helping Hand, I would imagine. I assume this is Charcoal. I do want to eliminate it, if possible. It did just Protect. So I will go for Stomping Tantrum. Even though if I get rid of Slowking, then that gets rid of all his support for the Flutter Mane. I just need to stall my Tailwind out, which is so funny. So we'll just go for the Tantrum into Slowking and the Rock Slide. Okay, Terrifier's Helping Hands does not KO either Pokemon, which is huge. Rock Slide knocks out Torkoal, so he burned his Terra, which we'd love to see. And he has Shuka on the Slowking. So I'm going to start writing these notes down. Slowking, Shuka. Landorus died to burn there, which does mean I can get in Grim and Parting Shot on the Flutter Mane. So we get Grim back in. Flutter Mane gets its Photosynthesis boost. Faking out the Slowking just doesn't sound very useful. So we'll just Parting Shot into that. And then Trick Room has one more turn after this, but Tailwind ends after this turn. So I think I protect Braviary. I don't know, this is hard. I've put myself in an awkward position because none of my Terras are that useful. So protect, get the Parting Shot onto Flutter Mane, we bring in the Goodra. He goes for Snarl, reduces special attack, which doesn't matter at all. And he goes for Gleam, which does 14% to Goodra with Light Screen up, which is amazing. Leftovers already have healed us back most of the way. Last turn of Trick Room. Tailwind is over. Goodra should always underspeed Flutter Mane, unless it's like Iron Ball. So I will just go for the Heavy Slam into Flutter. Even if he does have Protect, and even if he goes for it, it's fine. And I will go for the Brave Bird into Slowking. If he knocks out Braviary, that's also fine. He doesn't. He gives me a Defiant boost. So I should knock out Slowking here. So we go for the Brave Bird, knock out Slowking. We trade because we also lose Braviary. Okay, literally everything ended at the same time. Jesus. Light Screen ended and Trick Room ended. So Grimmsnarl comes back in. I think our best play is just a Heavy Slam. We ended up not using Terra a single time. Maybe Grimmsnarl lives a Dazzling Gleam if we go for a Terra. Can't make any promises. If he's not Terastallized and we Terra into Grass, I mean, yeah, we could live. So we might as well Terra into Grass, go for a Spirit Break. So he Gleams. It does 34% on a crit, damn. Spirit Break does a big 63, and Heavy Slam knocks out the Flutter Mane. We take game 1 somehow. So I am going to take some notes real quick, and then we will be back with game 2. Alright, we are back for game 2. So what would we adjust off of game 1? So we know he's probably going to make an adjustment. I expect Lily to show up, because I feel like I got so much mileage out of just kind of passively chipping him away, and he could really benefit from getting sleep on something. So if I could knock that out turn 1, that would be amazing. Lily just doesn't really match the whole Trick Room aspect of the team, which it's full Trick Room now that I'm looking at it. I don't know why I was stupid and set up Tailwind. Full Trick Room makes me think that Spectrier is really not that good here. It really doesn't... It one-shots some things, depending on his investment, but it really does not do enough for me to kind of want to bring it to game 2. Now that I've seen more of his sets, I think he has a hard time breaking Goodra as soon as this Hariyama goes down. So I think maybe having Foongus in the back would be really nice. So I think I will lead with the Grim this time. And maybe we start with Goodra. The only problem is if he leads Torkoal. I think I will lead the same two. I'll have Goodra in the back this time, and I'll actually have Foongus in the back this time to help facilitate Goodra. Okay, so he switches up his lead. He brings Slowking again, but he brings Eel instantly. I have absolutely no clue what Eel does in VGC. I know it's not used often because just having no weaknesses is not enough to really justify bringing a Pokemon. So I will fake out the Glowking. And then assuming this Eel doesn't have anything to really hit Goodra with, which, you know, it gets a lot of good coverage, I will just U-turn into it. And we'll try to get Goodra going right away. So U-turn does 30%, which makes me think it's pretty offensive. Either that or Landorus is just doing Landorus things and dealing a lot of damage regardless. He's got some investment. So, I mean, Foongus could also just come in here and start sleeping things, and then I could Parting Shot out next turn to get in Goodra. Okay, he's Coil, so that's good to know. We do Flinch. So, I think I can Parting Shot into the Eel. Go ahead and weaken it. But the thing is, Goodra really doesn't beat him that well. So I will try to sleep the Eel. He could have safety goggles on something, which, as I said when I made this team, If somebody brings safety goggles just for Foongus, then I see that as a win. So he switches in the Hariyama. We do get a parting shot into the eel. Reduce its attack, back down. I am trying to sleep the eel, and I do know he's going to go for fake out next turn. So we'll bring in Landorus, get an extra Intimidate off. Yeah, so he's getting a bunch of defense, but we can deal with that threat later. This would be a time where Spectrier would be really nice. I could keep him honest, and I could just Terraflying Terra Blast into the Hariyama instantly, because I do think Landorus is the easier fake out target. That's if he even goes for fake out. So I actually think I can U-turn into the Hariyama. Damn, I did not bring a single special attacker, so this eel is going to be a huge problem for me. Oh gosh, I've made a mistake. I'll try to sleep the Hariyama as well. So U-turn, he doesn't fake out. We will go into Grim. Knocks into the Foongus, gets rid of our Eviolite. We do put the Hariyama to sleep. This is really awkward. No, somebody just asked about Sleep Clause. We have a lot of singles players in this league, so we might be the blind leading the blind these first few weeks. So we should be fine. I think my only way to really beat this eel is to set it up with Goodra, which means we need to get in against Hariyama. So we'll parting shot into the eel. And I will hard switch into Landorus so I can pivot back into Foongus. Okay, cool. So we bring in Landorus to intimidate. We parting shot, bring that eel down to very low attack. It's just the defense that's annoying. We bring Goodra back in. So we've shown him we didn't bring Braviary this time because we really don't need Tailwind at all. Yeah, the Goodra set is not preferred into these two. But I will just go for a curse. Start setting up. I do think I could just Stomping Tantrum Torkoal. I could just hit around the eel because I think I can keep its offenses low enough. Stomping Tantrum into the Torkoal. I do 64%. So that does kind of immediately nerf this thing's damage output with Eruption. He Willows Landorus again. Honestly, could be worse. We did get very lucky, and the eel has slept through all 3 turns. So he is guaranteed to wake up this turn. I will just go for a Dragon Claw into the Torkoal. If we look at the calc real quick, I've not been doing my due diligence and actually calcing, which is my own fault, really. Dragon Claw probably doesn't kill the Torkoal from here. 31 to 37 to max HP, but with U-turn chip, we should be okay. So we do U-turn. We'll bring Grim back in. He wakes up, keeps coiling. I'm just going to ignore it. Just don't even bother with the threat. We do knock out Torkoal, so that's one less problem, and Torkoal actually threatens Goodra pretty hard because of Will-O-Wisp. That would make it a lot harder in the end game. So I'm going to Terra the Goodra here. Unfortunately, it really does like no damage into either of these guys. Hariyama Dragon Claw actually does half, so that's something. As said before, I am just going to ignore the eel. So I am just going to Dragon Claw into the sleeping Hariyama. How long has he been? Oh, never mind. He's got to take a whole turn of sleep. So I don't have to Terra this turn. So I will Dragon Claw into it. And just Spirit Break it, really. I'm not worried about the eel at all right now. Because at the end game, I can't just burst it down. Yeah, Goodra's being fire. So one of the other games, whoever has the standard Goodra made it Iron Defense, Body Press, Terra Steel. So it was, in spirit, it was Hisui and Goodra. So he does bring out his last Pokemon. Um, or he brings out his Slowking, so he still has one of... No. Wow. He didn't bring Flutter and he didn't bring Lilligant. So Eel is his only source of damage right now. Which is good for us. Not great for him because we can keep it very weak. Heavy Slam should be doing okay damage to this Cloaking. Yeah, it should two-shot it from here. So we'll just go for Heavy Slam into it. And then I will just Parting Shot into the Eel. And we'll bring in Landorus, just keep cycling those Intimidates, keep this Eel nice and weak. He does go for Drain Punch, it does 10%, which is not an issue, and he sets up Trick Room. We are already slower than the Eel under Trick Room though, which is really nice. So I I could Terra, but I don't know if this Glowking's last move is a poison move yet. Someone says they get a feeling I like to lower stats. Just maybe. I was very hopeful to no clear Amulet this week. I am just going to focus down this Glowking. I'm not worried at all about this Eel. And then I will U-turn onto the Eel. He does Snarl, which does effectively nothing because neither of my Pokemon are special attackers. Heavy Slam knocks Glowking down low. He coils again. He's pretty much at max defense. So this is going to be a very long in-game. But I think I can just go... Am I always slower? No, if he's min speed, he's slower. I will just go into the Grim. And I will just fake out the Glowking and KO it. And I will Terra Fairy, because we didn't really Terra. We just Terra'd Grim at the last turn last time, and I think... Unless this thing is random Poison Jab or Iron Head that I don't expect, and then we should be fine. The reason I like Terra Fairy so much on Goodra is my only weakness to Steel and Poison on this entire team is Grimmsnarl. So we can just fake out Dragon Claw. It doesn't quite KO. And Eel keeps setting up coils, but at this rate I can just chip this thing down. Forgot how annoying this shit could be. Yeah, sorry. My original build for making a team for this league was very offensive, but ended up getting Goodra and then a bunch of good support for it. So I will just Parting Shot Eel, keep that attack low, and then I will pivot back in the Foongus, start putting it to sleep. We set up another Curse, get our defenses up a little. Thunder Punches for 8%, and we get 6 back on lefties. And then I will Dragon Claw the Eel. What Terra type was the Eel? It was... I didn't even write down the Eel in the team sheet. So I didn't even notice it. I just assumed he had something else. It's Terra Steel, so that would be annoying for Goodra. I'm surprised he hasn't went for it yet, because I actually don't have coverage. But yeah, at this point it's just a battle of attrition, and I think Goodra always wins. Unless he's rest last move, but he's leftovers, so I don't expect that. I will just Dragon Claw, and I do have a special attack. I just want to see how much this does. I'm so curious. He does wake up instantly. Thunder Punches the Amoongus. We Dragon Claw, 20%. That's pretty good. Pollen Puff, 11%. Hell yeah. Let's get Foongus a kill. Or let's see if we can get Foongus a kill. So Dragon Claw. Imagine Eel has rest. I literally just said that. LMAO. We will put it back to sleep. I think that's the optimal way to play. Dragon Claw, knock it down to 17, hit it with a Spore. Yeah, and it looks like we actually won some VGC. The Lilligant and the Flutter Mane were so strong into me, I was so nervous. Yep, so Dragon Claw, Pollen Puff. So Dragon Claw is doing 17 to 20%. So I think Foongus gets a kill here, so I'm super excited. Dragon Claw, Pollen Puff, knocks it to 1. Great. Uh, yeah, I'm not drawing the game out. I'm just going for Life Dew so that Foongus gets a kill. Because a lot of people question the Foongus pick. So we Life Dew, heal Foongus back up, and Foongus gets the kill. And we win our week 1. Holy crap. That's crazy. So we didn't need to do game 3. This was quite an experience. VGC, my knowledge of it is limited to watching Cybertron and Wolf and a few other smaller channels. So, thank you for watching. We won this week. I don't think we'll be so lucky in the next weeks. I think anybody who watches this game is going to bring a clear amulet versus me, and I'm going to have to figure out a new strategy. But anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.